Hello. Welcome one, welcome all. We are here. We are live for the Belgian Grand Prix. I hope we're all doing very, very well. We got a grid of 15 racing today, which is pretty tasty. It means that although we will have a full qualifying, we are expecting a bye in the first qualifying session, which means that everybody will go out and set a lap and retire the car. Or at least that's what I've put in the race director notes anyway, so we could skip through that. And then we'll have the knockouts in Q2. That'll be exciting. My name is El. If you're listening, you very well may have raced with me in the past. I have a gammy hip today, to use a British slang word for saying it. So I'm on comms, which is a shame. I love Spa-Francorchamps. It's a fucking fantastic track to race, but sometimes it's that's what life throws at you. So yeah, I'm gonna cast my dice at commentating. Our regular commentator, Wayward Gear, is not available today. He's very busy, and he is actually someone I know in real life. So I've decided to step in and take the mantle. If you can hear my fan, I apologise. It is bloody hot here in South Wales at the moment, in full July swing. But stop rambling and jibber-jabbering. We're into the session. So I, as commentator, don't know anything about the weather. I presume it will be dry both sessions. I think wet racing will be very, very interesting, but we'll see. So we'll warm up into it, watch people do their laps in Q1, people taking it a bit easy. Apparently I'm getting fucking spammed with bots. You can all, thankfully, Stream Elements doing its job there. Yeah, we can watch the people do some laps, get warmed up into it, and see how we go. Very exciting. One of the longest tracks, if not the longest, on the calendar, I think, in terms of distance. One of the longest in terms of lap time as well. Undercut's very powerful here in the race. We saw that in real life. Track position was actually stronger in real life than I thought it would be. There's a very, very long straight in Sector 1, the Camel Straight. And if you can get a good run out of the first corner, La Source, then it's a very good overtaking opportunity. I will attempt to use the corner names as I know them. And I tell you what, that looks a little bit overcast. I don't know if it's wet weather running, but I tell you what, it does look just a little bit overcast, doesn't it? I think I'm going to stick with the full heads-up display for a minute as we wait for the first drivers to come out. I've got the full track map up. Telemetry, maybe use it. Lap data, maybe use it. Detailing. We're probably going to see a range of tyres. People are allowed to use anything they want. Oh, that's a nice sound, isn't it? The soft and the medium tyre, or the intermediate tyre. We basically don't want people running intermediates if it's on a dry track, or vice versa, if you never do that. I don't know if you can see that man who just jumped out of the garage up in the top left there. That was really weird. Let's go on board with... let's see, was that Cleon who went out? I think it was. Excuse me? No, it wasn't Cleon. Was it Dale? It was Dale. There we go. We're getting there. So we've got an Aston Martin out on track at the moment. Who's that ahead of him? I think that's the Alpine of Bosch. Or is that one of the Williams? I can't tell. There's too many bloody blue cars. We've got Chubby Slug coming out as well. It looks like an Aston Martin of, I think it'll be Arwin, who's leading us at the moment. Put that on broadcast for a minute. So you can see the grid we've got. We've got both Racing Bulls here with Michelando and Rob. We've only got one of the kicks. Chubby Slug is here. Chris Allen can't be here today. We've got both Red Bulls with Dale and Cleon, both McLarens with Skarma and Chiv. One of the Aston Martins, R1, who you can see on screen right now. Trill is unavailable. Pace in the other Ferrari. The other Ferrari is occupied by myself, who is not racing. One Haas, Baz Living, new addition to the league. Very excited to have them on board. Our other Haas driver is not available, Kowalski. We've got both Mercs with Luke and K-Pax, both Williams with Niarari and Spikey, or Spikey, I'm not actually sure how to pronounce that. And one Alpine with Bosch, who is, as you can see, in P14 right there, as our other Alpine driver is unavailable. So we're going board with Arwin. Probably going to take it a bit easy. Try not to invalidate. Try and, as I say that, he invalidates on his outlap, so he'll be fine. But you just want to get a lap around in Q1. I mean, we don't want it to go for as long as we can possibly let it. Just get your lap sorted. We'll go on board with Arwin here. DRS open as he goes down the main straight. First corner, La Source. Really important to get it right. It will affect your speed all the way up the straight. We'll go on TV pod now as he hits the throttle. Doesn't use any battery, keeping it very conservative. Hopefully the audio is fine as well. It's a little out of my ears. Goes up through Eau Rouge and Radion. Try not to invalidate. Very close. But DRS open, and you want to just little steering as possible as you go through that kink. Keep to the left-hand side, past the cars who are staying out of the way very nicely. Brake at the 50-meter board. Hit the curb on the right-hand side. And Spiky has retired. Very interesting. There's a yellow flag there in the pits. I'm not sure if he's had a disconnection, if he's had a crash, if he's retired in the pits. There's something going on, but that's fine. We'll go back onto R1 now as he goes through No Name, keeping it tidy at the moment, not over pushing the car, just trying to get it done. Clips the grass on the front right there. Through Pouon, little bit of a lift. Don't invalidate on the right hand side there. Keep it to the left, and then you set yourself up for the Lafania chicane. A bit clumsy this one, but goes through, keeps it very sensible, touches the curb on the inside. It can throw the car out as he catches a little bit of a snap. And then powers through Stavlo 1, nearly hits the gravel. Very important corner, Stavlo 1, because Stavlo 2 is flat, and you were flat all the way up to the chicane, so you've got to get that corner right. So he's going to try and steer as little as possible here. Go all the way to the right-hand side for Blanchimont. Don't invalidate on the exit, which he so very nearly did. And then this kind of clumsy, uphill, sort of nasty chicane, the bus stop. And then across the line, R1 will set our first lap of the day. That's a 1:45.1 on the medium tyre. We're going to go on board with Dale now. Dale has just let off. Who's that? Is that the Williams crossing the line now? Potentially. No, it is the... Oh, it'd be the Racing Bull, actually. So Michelando crosses the line now. Is he starting his lap? He is indeed, yes. So he's just left off. I think he might be doing maybe 2 laps, 2 warm-up laps. Rob has just started a lap ahead of him. Nope, he's also on a warm-up lap. So maybe they're just waiting a little bit. Dale crosses the line with a 2-minute just to, you know, just to coast in. Just get a lap time on the board. The 107% rule doesn't matter here. We'll go on board with the Haas here, who has invalidated. Go on board with Luke as he hits the final sector here. Brake very hard in a straight line for the bus stop chicane. Clip the curb, get on power as soon as you dare. Luke will cross the line now himself. It's at a 1:44.9 on the medium tyre. Pretty tasty indeed. Go on board with the other Merc, who's just on the final sector now as well. I think he's just coasting along. No, he's on an outlap, excuse me. Let's see who we've got floating around at the moment. Maybe one of the McLarens. So Skarma and Chiv appear to be playing a interesting game here. We're just watching people. Chubby Slug sets a 2-minute and 1 second. So everybody just playing it. Very, very sensible. Don't invalidate. Just cross the line. Get the time on the board. Happy as you can be. So Skarma will cross the line now. He sets a 2-minute 13. That's impressive. Chiv will now be going as well, presumably to set an even slower time. He's got a, is that an Alpine approaching at a rate of knots behind him? Who was that? It was Bosch who set a 1:46.3. So is that a Williams? Honestly, these blue cars are throwing me. It is Niarari. Niarari's on a lap now, has not set a time. So he's going to go up behind Chiv, probably pass him. These two have history. I had a bit of a coming together in Hungary. Niarari and Chiv came together. Chiv went off the road, and Chiv managed to fight his way back in the end. Very impressive. Rob sets a 2:03.9, and Michelando with a 2:03.0. Everybody being very, very careful, which is, you know, absolutely fine. We'll stay on board with Niarari as they coast their way through. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 1 there. I think that's just someone getting out of the way, or maybe going a little bit deep. As we like, Pace is still yet to set a time. He's in the final sector now. Baz has just come out. He invalidated by the looks of it. Chiv is currently on a lap behind Niarari here. K-Pax, I believe, is about to cross the line. And we'll stay on board with Niarari as they go around. Oh, is he invalidate? No, he doesn't invalidate. It's very close. Lucas, our first retiree. In general, once you set your lap time, you can retire. Just try to get through the session. I'm hydrating myself today with some Sapporo. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Japanese beer. I've been trying to hit a beer or cider with the starts with the same letter as the track. As Niarari, on his 1 lap that he needs to set in Q1, washes a bit wide in Blanchimont. He's going to have to pit and go again. Oh, as the game takes a bit of an odd way of doing it there. It's deceptively easy to invalidate here, even when you're coasting, even when you're taking it careful, it's very easy to invalidate. Pace has gone into the pits as well. Maybe something went wrong on his lap. Chiv does a 2:01 as well. K-Pax did a 1:45.3. That Alpine sounds very mean. Very loud in my ear. So K-Pax and Bosch are all fine. Chiv, Migueletta, Rob, and Skarma. So we're just waiting now for Pace and Baz. Niarari has retired. I believe he will go through the session anyway, even though we do like them to set competitive times, which is fine. Let's have a look at where we are now. Baz, I think, is on a lap right now, so we'll go over to him. He is indeed, yep. So he's going down the Camel Straight. Again, not pushing particularly hard as of yet, but DRS open, give him some lovely lap time there. Just coasting through Lecom as we have a yellow flag sector 2. That's one of the Mercs. I think K-Pax has had a moment in the Lafania chicane, but he's got going again. No yellow flags, no red flags in quali, of course, but obviously you don't want people to be impeded. But Baz is going forward now in the dirty air of the McLaren, not that it will matter. She coasts it through Puan, all very sensible, all very tidy, nibbles the grass for good measure as well. Nice wide berth of the curbs in the Lafania chicane. They can upset the car in the chicane there in Sector 2. They can spit you out if you're not careful. But there was an update to the handling recently, which I believe has improved it, but at least in my experience, it's kind of an off-camber, kind of understeery corner. The car never really wants to go where you want it to go, and it can very easily be upsetting. You see Baz now very finishing the lap, setting a time on the board. Baz crosses the line with a 1:48.8. Him splits the Red Bulls, which would be very dramatic if this was Q3. Rob is the next retiree as K-Pax pits. I believe that is one of the McLarens going again. I believe Pace, excuse me, is also going to start their lap now. Yeah, that's Chiv going around again. We're just waiting for people to retire. We may see the session go all the way, to be honest, but we will see. Stewards have done their bit. Pace starts his lap. See how hard he's pushing. Dumps about 50% of the battery already. Upper Rouge and Radion. Try not to scrub as much speed as you can. You want to keep the car as straight as possible, but obviously not invalidate. Keeps going. Clips the grass just for good measure. Well north of 200 miles an hour now. Uses all of his battery. How late is he going to brake? Probably at the 75-meter board that was. Keep it careful, gentle on the throttle through the Lecom chicane. Don't want to spit the car out. Uses curb on the exit. Don't want to use all of it. It can beach the car. Takes a tidy line through Bruxelles. Yeah, not pushing too hard, these drivers. They're just trying to get around without invalidating. But when you have a Q1 session like this, where there's no sort of need to worry about elimination, it means you can kind of learn where the limits of the car are. You can kind of push a little bit. You can kind of see where you can validate where you need to lift. As we follow him through Sector 3 now, entering Sector 3, I should say. Excuse me. Through Stavlo 1 now, and now he's got the easy bit. Just follow it all the way through. Don't go wide at Blanchemont, and then just cross the line and be happy days. We're just waiting now. I think Baz has just gone into the pits now. Chiv, who's behind Pace on track, also needs to pit as well. We're just waiting for the last few people to retire, just to see out the end of the session once Pace rounds this corner. Tyres screaming at him a little bit. Keeps it absolutely fine, well within the lines. And Pace sets 46.5. So we're expecting Pace to be up there in terms of, top 3, top 5 in quali. Theon and Luke will definitely be duking it out for pole position, 2 of the 4 title contenders this season. Expecting Arwen to be up there, K-Pax to be up there, Chiv to be up there, Rob, Skarma, plenty of names who can be pushing in and around for the podium positions. We'll have to see if track position is king here. I'll go to broadcast. I realize I've been sitting on TV pod for quite a while there. But we'll watch broadcast viewers. We see Pace's in lap. I keep calling it Pash, as I know someone in real life called Pace. But I see him just coast the car in, waiting for everybody to retire. Baz and Chiv need to retire still. Pace to pit. And then we will go through to Q2, and that's the dramatic one. That will be where we will have 5 elimination spots. 11th to 15th will be knocked out. So will there be any upsets? Will there be any surprise eliminations? Will there be any DNFs? Will anybody lose it? Snap the car. We shall see. I am intrigued to see if the voice chat tells Pash to retire on track, as he is the last person here, or if they'll even go into the pits. But that's your Q1. Not very representative, as you can see, because everybody does get a pass through. Luke making a statement, setting the fastest line on the medium tyres. Will he be there at the end of Q3? We'll just have to find out. Bosch sets pretty decent time as well on the 46.3. Be interesting to see where he lines up. Bosch and Dale sometimes can float up into the top 10. Chiv Skarma did very well last week as well. Skarma finished on the podium in Hungary, I believe. I think he finished P2 in the end. Yes, it would have been P2 behind Cleon. So can't really rule anyone out here, especially on such a long lap. You know, tracks like this, you can either find that you know, drivers who are particularly sort of good in qualifying can extend their lead over a period of a lap, and you can find as well that people have their downfalls, and it can be even more compact. You can see people scything their way up to the grid, especially because this is such a downforce. The balance of downforce is very, very interesting in Spa, because Sector 1 and Sector 3 are very straight line heavy. Having a low downforce setup really, really helps you out. And then there's all the twisty corners in Sector 2. So where do you go on your downforce? Do you go max downforce and then try and pull the gap in Sector 2? Or do you go minimum downforce and try and stay in the DRS? Very interesting decision to be made. I appear to have lost my heads-up display. Oh no, we're loading it. That's what it is. So this is it, Q2. This is the important one. I'm curious to see if rain's on the horizon. It looks very overcast. Looks very grey, very British actually, which is the standard for this part of the world. I wouldn't be surprised if it is just cloudy for the whole session, but we will have to see. And of course, the drivers know what will be the case in the race, but I don't. So we've got people coming out straight away. So that's both McLarens going out. That's Chivit Skarma and the Aston Martin going out. Looks like the Haas is going out. A Red Bull as well. Who should we go on board with? I appear to have lost peculiarly. There we go. This game is a perfect game with no issue whatsoever. So we'll go on board with the lead McLaren here, and we'll have a look at him as he goes out on a lap. So we're having a look now. A majority of the grid are going out. So either people are thinking about setting a banker lap really early because it's quite a long out lap and a long in lap here, or rain is on the horizon. I will find out at the same time as you, but we'll stay on board with Skarma. So we've got a Aston Martin of Arwen splitting the McLarens at the lead there at the moment. I believe that is Dale behind Chiv there. And then we've got, I believe to be one of the Williams, I think that is, or is that one of the Red Bulls? I honestly can't tell. It is one of the Williams, yes. So we've got the Williams there, following the kick of Chubby Slug, and then one of the Racing Bulls, and then Leon, that probably is, and the other Red Bull, then the Alpine, then the Williams, then the Ferrari, the other Williams. Yeah, that'll be the other Williams, the Spiky, as Skarma goes very wide there. Both Mercs and the Haas leading the end of the field. So Chiv has backed off there to give himself a bit of space, but Arwen has tucked right up behind Skarma here. He may back off, and actually is doing so. So maybe the toe isn't all that powerful. But we'll watch Skarma here as he starts his lap around the bus stop chicane. Want to take it a wide entrance to get as much speed as possible as goes down the start straight. DRS open. Use some of the battery as you approach La Source. Really important corner here. You've got to get your turning point right here. You've got to get on power as early as you can as you go flat and carry the speed all the way up the hill. The yellow flag is for people making gaps. Skarma now through Eau Rouge and Radion. Try not to lose as much speed as possible. Try not to invalidate. And I think I just see drops of rain. That is rain. It must be rain. This is the lap that matters. This is it. Everybody on the soft tyre has to set their lap. They won't be dry again. This is why everybody's going out. Skarma goes out a little bit wide in Lacombe, but tidies it up on the exit. Try not to go wide. The curb's really slippery as he has a lovely snap of oversteer for good measure through Bruxelles. Takes it a little wide, but touches up the inside. Don't touch the curb on the left-hand side. Don't invalidate on the exit of No Name. The rain is really coming down now as he powers through to Pouon. Definitely not flat in conditions like these. Try not to invalidate, because if you do, it is game over for certain. Skarma now keeps it within the white lines very, very tightly. Lafania chicane. The rain is really coming down now. There'd be enough grip on the track, enough heat in the tyres to get through for this lap, and everybody, I expect, to set a reasonable lap time. But if you invalidate, or if you make a mistake, then that is it. Stavlo won. He didn't use the curbs there, kept it conservative, but has set a purple sector 2, which very well may evaporate as it goes down through the back straight. Is he flat through Blanchimont? If we listen, he is indeed, I believe. Loves to use the curb on the outside now with a very clumsy, slow chicane here. Really easy for the car to be upset in greasy conditions. Skarma keeps it very sensible though. Doesn't use the curb. DRS open. Crosses the line. Skarma says a 147.2. That is it for him. 147.6 from Arwen now. Chiv goes with 47.1. Rob now to cross the line. Sets a 47.2. That's a Williams just struggling to get the power on there. Near Ari with a 149. Chubby Slug with a 148.4, and then it'll be Leon across the line with a 47.5. Starting to see the effects. Michelando with a 47.6. I'm starting to get worried about the Mercedes. Are they going to be able to set a time as they go through? Luke around the final corner. Everybody setting the lap times. Pash with a 155. Luke crosses the line with 149.4. The Haas crosses the line with a 156, and K-Pax with a 149.6. And that is that. Both Mercedes and the Ferrari look to be knocked out in Q2. I told you there would be an upset. That is remarkable. The rain just kept coming, and if you were at the back of the grid, they didn't stand a chance. Luke looks to have been knocked out by less than a tenth, or just over a tenth, excuse me, from the Williams of Nierari. DRS has been disabled. The track is far too wet, and I think that is all she wrote. A massive, massive upset here. Both of Mercedes, who are right up there in the World Constructor Championship. Luke, who is leading the Drivers' Championship right now, look to be out in Q2 unless the rain calms off and the track dries a little bit more and things become a bit more sensible at the end. But, I mean, look at the Williams there, really struggling to keep it on the road. K-Pax just behind as well. Bosch pace as well. The Ferrari, who is right. Ferrari are very much in the constructors' fight as well. Just came out far too late. You had to be there really early. Skarma's the first to go into the pits. As it stands then, Chiv is top of the leaderboard in Q2. It's a 47.1 and will probably not be beaten. The Haas with a big snap there at the end. Rob with a 47.2 along with Skarma. Leon with a 47.5. Michelando with a 47.6. Arwen also at a 47.6, and the Chubby Slog with a 48.4. You could see the swing in the grip of the track just from who was on the track at the right time. Spikey and the Williams 49.0, Dale 49.1, and Nirari in a 49.3. Luke on a 49.4 in the knockout zones, 49.6 for K-Pax, 50.5 for Bosch and Pash, and a 50.6 for Baz. So is that all she wrote? We will have to see. Look at that. I believe that is the first time that either Williams... Good lord above, that is loud. I apologise for that. I believe that is the first time both Williams have been in Q3, but don't quote me on that. I'm going to take this opportunity to just very slightly lower my audio settings. So if you were deafened by that, accept my apologies. But drama here in Spa, and look how hard it's raining. It is absolutely chucking it down. Looks like a November in Wales. But that's Spa, isn't it? It's always something at Spa. If it's not the weather, then it's not a bit of drama. If it's not a crash or a safety car, it's always something that happens here. Now, Arwen, peculiarly, has gone out again. I'm being interested to look at this. Maybe he's gone out for just so I have something to watch, which would be very kind of him. Definitely intermediate tires. I mean, look at the spray being picked up. I mean, there's only 7 minutes left in this session, so even if the rain stops now, I don't know if the track would grip up enough for those in the bottom 5 to be able to go out again. We'll have to see. I'll be amazed if Arwen can set anything even close to a 49.4 on the intermediate tire. We are seeing people come out. I believe that's the Alpine and the Ferrari who have come out because they've got to try. And I believe that's the Alpine. Where am I? Merc Alpine. It's not. Who is that then? Is that one of the Williams? Is it Spiky? It is Spiky and the Williams. Gone out on the intermediate tire. Pace in the Ferrari as well. I guess they've just got to try and go for it. That looks like the Merc going out as well. If you're in the bottom 5, you've got to try, I suppose. There's no harm in it, as long as you don't crash. That's Lucullus going out then. As I go back on board with Arwen, we'll watch him on board now. Invalidates, but he's on his outlap, so it's fine. We'll see what the car looks like. The other Mercedes of K-Pax is going out now. See if they can do anything on the intermediate tire. I mean, there is barely a line now. As you watch Arwen cross the line, Lasource much earlier braking here, just before the 100-meter board. It slightly misses the apex, but it's fine. Able to keep on it. Use the curb to try and straighten the car out. There's a lot of drivers going out now. Everybody from 8th downwards, with the exception of Dale, is out, just to see if they can improve. Very tentative up Eau Rouge. The lift there itself is already going to mean that he is down on his time. I think we can see... Yes, so we'll have the lap data up and we'll see how Arwen is compared. 2.8 seconds down on his best time. And you must say it's a fruitless effort from the Mercedes. You must think so. Chubby Slug has retired. He says that's it. There's going to be no more chance for any sort of improvement whatsoever. I'm just going to go on board to Pace, who set a 150. What was that? A 155.9 was his best time. Can he do anything to improve it? Very, very, very careful through T1. And you think he's already lost 2 seconds at most before he even lifts for Eau Rouge. Yellow flags being waved as people are getting into other people's ways. As he goes up now, try not to lose the car. You don't want to DNF it. As he crosses through Sector 1 here, how far down is he on his best time? Waiting for the sector line, waiting for the sector line. 2.3 seconds down. And you think it's going to take a mighty lap to beat that. I think the Mercs, the Ferrari and the Haas, who were right at the end there, must have set their laps right as we were in the crossover point. Because you saw on the end lap, people were fighting to keep the car on the road. And look how wet it is. Understeer central for Pace there. There's very skating across the track. Pouan going to be 5th geary here. No, he stays in 7th. Finding a bit of grip on the intermediate tires, but certainly not enough. They go into this clumsy understeer chicane. You see him fighting the car. It's taken about 3 attempts to turn the car in there. Very tentative on throttle. This car's not happy. It's not cooperating. 5.8 seconds down on his time. And that is indicative of that. So, an upset of all upsets. Both Mercedes out in Q2. Not official yet, but almost certainly. Pash will try and finish the lap, I presume. Yeah, and there goes his 50.5 lap time there. He's going to finish anywhere from 5 to 6 seconds off the pace. It's just over 7 seconds in the end. It was worth a go. You had to try it. We go on board. Maybe the Mercedes have found something as Pash takes a adventure into the gravel there. Luke going to the final sector here. He's 6 seconds down on his best lap. And the 49.4 he needs to beat is going to come before he even exits the chicane. He boxes. That's it. Luke boxes. Luke is officially out. And you think that the people behind him are going to follow suit. What a Q2 session that was. I saw the clouds. I saw everybody come out and thought, it must be. People want to get their lap type in. And when it mattered, being at the front of the field is what fixed it. The rain came so quickly. It wasn't even about setting a lap time and being, not making any mistakes. You just had to be in front of the queue. Pure bad luck could have knocked you out there. But credit where credit's due. Everybody set a lap within the white lines. Nobody invalidated. And those at the very end did what they needed to do. The intermediate tyre just not working for these drivers, just trying. So will be interesting to see a mixed up grid. Cleon did get through to Q3 in the end. I think Cleon was one of 2 favourites for pole, as Pace is he's just skateboarding around now. It's pure Tokyo drifting. Honestly, I mean, we could even be looking at something close to wet weather running now. Given how cold his tyres are anyway. So it'd be interesting to see who gets pole position. Cleon was one of the favourites, as I was saying, but there are some people up there who can certainly set a flying lap time. And you have to keep it within the lines. I mean, we spoke in practice, in the group chat, in the voice call, that as Pass does some explorative laps on the intermediate tyre. That penalties will be king here. It's really easy to invalidate, and you've got to keep it within lines. You can't let yourself run wide. We've seen drivers this season lose races and lose podium positions due to penalties, time penalties. As before the stewards' room even happens, as it looks like Pace is going to continue on his merry way. Having a look here, Dale is in the pits as well. We've got Arwen, who's still going around on the intermediate tyres, and that is one of the... or no, that is Dale in the Red Bull, excuse me. Who is just going around the intermediate tyre for a bit of fun. Dale makes it to Q3, so... very happy for him. Nirari and Spiky, 2 returning drivers for us as well. Spiky and Nirari have both raced in P0 in the past, many seasons ago. They both returned as teammates this season. So very excited to have them on board. Always nice to see new faces, excuse me. Bosch obviously joined us last season as well with his other Alpine teammate Tobias and Baz, who joined us this very season. So always a rotating cast. Always lovely to see new faces and see what people can do. Just waiting for the final drivers to cross the line. Now Dale will take the checkered flag, and then we're waiting for Pace to just take the checkered flag as well, as the rain is still coming down. So we could almost certainly be looking at intermediate running in Q3. The question is, will it stop raining in Q3, and will there be a last gasp run on the soft tyre at the end of Q3? We will have to see. I'm itching to know. We wait for Pace to box and finish his lap and not destroy the car. That was very close. Damaged wing there, showing why aerodynamics are so important. The court jester, Pace himself. And I'm going to take a break and take a drink, because that was very, very dramatic, but we love it. We're going to see a very mixed up grid in Q3, and I'm very excited for it. Could be some people standing on the podium for the first time. I'm just going to bring up the sheets on my phone here and see where we're looking at. Who hasn't sat on the podium yet? Have a look at it. Chiv has been on the podium, so has Skarma. K-Pax has not stood on the podium yet. Arwen has not stood on the podium. Pace did in the sprint, if that counts. Rob hasn't been on the podium yet. Michelando hasn't. Dale, Spikey, or Niarari, who I believe were all the drivers to make it through. Yes, that's right. As we wait for Q3, the rain is absolutely bucketing it down here. I'm wondering if it's going to be similar as the last session now, where people need to set a lap on the intermediate before it turns to wet tyre running. Everybody's sitting on the intermediate for now. I don't know how close it'll be. There's a bit of standing water on the track, you know, but I can see the dry line. We do have some people sitting on the soft tire, just seeing how much the delta is. We're going on board with, let's see, that was Theon going out. No, that was Dale. And that was the Williams just letting Dale through there, as Dale will be coming out of the pits. Who's that lead car now? So that's Arwen ahead of... Is that one of the Williams? It is. It's Niarari. So Arwen is just looking to make the pass, and people are running out on the intermediate tyre. So Arwen will be the one to watch as we go through. I can see some people in the pits just watching the soft tyre, just seeing how close it'll be before we get to the crossover point. I think I can hear someone in my chat. Who's that? Hello, Nick. Oh.
I was going to say, you were not talking, you're not coming through the stream either, if you were meant to be.
I should be coming through on stream.
Oh, you might have been, actually. I haven't got the sound on there, mind.
I can't really tab out that easily. But yeah, massive...
time to go AFK, not going to lie.
Massive upset in Q2 there. The Ferrari and both Mercedes out, which is very, very, very exciting. It means we're going to get a very mixed up grid in Q3, which is exciting.
Yeah, I wasn't at the... I wasn't there when the session started, and then I didn't realize it was going to rain so quick. Yeah, I mean, it looked like it wasn't even a case of having to set a lap and then wait for the rain to come and make sure you set a tidy lap. It was a case of just you had to be at the front of the queue, how quickly the rain came. I made a mistake in Sector 2 that I probably could have done better with, but obviously with the track getting wet, it was tricky. Right, well, watch Arwen now as he starts. Set a lap time on the intermediate tyre. Wait and see how it goes. So he approaches La Source now. Earlier braking for La Source. Again, it's still very important to get your line right. Get on the throttle as early as you dare. Stay on the dry line if you can. And carry that speed all the way through up. Let's see, how much does he lift through Eau Rouge? He must lift a little bit. Oh, it's a big lift, and he's gone wide. It's an invalidation from Arwen, and that'll be that. Who's going to be quick in the wet? I have no idea.
Let's see, I'm going to go on board with Niarari, who's the next on the track there, who does keep it clean through Eau Rouge. We could see Niarari be on provisional pole here very briefly. Brakes at the 75-meter mark, very sort of hard on the car there, but keeps it on the dry line. Gentle lift on the exit of Lacombe. Big snap. Keeps it in the white lines. Brakes for Bruxelles. Oh, he's lost the wet line, just pulling him out a little bit. Understeers all the way through the hairpin there. But he's still going. Just need to set the lap for first and foremost. You've got to get your banker lap in. See how careful he is through Pouan. A big lift, downshift, yellow flag. And that looks like one of the McLarens. That Scarmo's gone off. He's kept it going, which is fine. Doesn't look like he's invalidated at all. Hopefully he hasn't. Now it looks like
he's got damage either, but the chubby went wide then going up the roof behind.
Yeah, very, very dramatic. We go
I
back
don't know if that RB's on the lap, but
we shall see. We'll have a look at Niarari. You set a purple. Oh, a big snap from Niarari, but he keeps it pointing in the right direction. The intermediate tyres.
Full wet.
It must be. That's why I think people are going out. The intermediate tyres are really struggling here. Keeps it flat through Blanchard. He's invalidated. He has invalidated his lap. Right at the death. That's a heartbreak for Niarari.
Theon did the same.
Dale is going to finish the line. Dale is going to cross the line here without an invalidation, sets the lap time everybody's chasing. It's a 1:55.6, immediately beaten by the Williams with a 1:54.1. Cleon crosses the line. He invalidated. Very big difference indeed.
Everyone's struggling to keep it on the road. Like it's, I'm not sure who's going to get it. It's whoever can hook it together. But I think they said heavy rain, so it's going to keep getting wetter in theory.
So Skarma's on the soft tyre. That can't be right. He'd be insane to go out. That's one of the
apparently.
One of the racing bulls. I think that might be Rob on the soft tyre as well. They'd be out of their mind. I mean, Skarma's barely keeping it pointing in one direction. Let's have a look. Arwen. I think Arwen's going again.
Eau Rouge moment.
Arwen is going again. He's got the fuel to do it. Yellow flag at Lecom. People are fighting all over the place. Chiv does a 2:03 on the soft tyre. I think that is. Yes, it's a soft tyre.
Yeah, it's not softs. I don't think.
It's nowhere near softs. Madmen. Unless they think it's going to come at the end. But we're just watching Arwen now.
Desynced and let's try on their screen.
But we're watching Arwen as he goes through now. The Lafayette chicane keeps it sensible. Oh, he's just takes it down to second gear in Stavelo just to try and keep the speed through it. It's pretty flat through Stavelo too. He's going to keep it going now. Is he on a lap time that will be able to dethrone Spiky at a 1:54? We still have a yellow flag. Those soft tire runners are just all over the place.
It's one of the Red Bulls going slow, I think.
I believe it might be. Maybe they're out of fuel. Arwen goes around the final corner, doesn't invalidate, keeps it down, struggling the power down. Arwen goes with a 54.2. He's a 10th behind Spiky. Could we see an insane world where the Williams of Spiky is on pole position? Dale is out of fuel. He's going slowly. Is Cleon about to cross the line? Cleon just puts the power down, uses battery. It's a 2-minute dead for Cleon.
It's getting wetter, isn't it? They're struggling.
The rain is coming down.
Times of...
So Rob, Chubby, Skarma, and Michelando are all in the pits. Nirari has just come out again. Cleon, is he going again? I think he's going for another lap now. He must do. So through a Rouge.
That was a cooldown or something.
Oh, he just keeps it sensible there. Gets on battery really early in the wet running, which is very impressive. A rolling yellow flag there in Sector 3. I think that's one of the McLarens who's probably on low fuel as well. Brakes at the 75-meter board, keeps it sensible, touches the curb on the right, catches the curb on the left. Just try and keep it within the lines. Cleon can get this if he doesn't invalidate. Into Bruxelles, really understeer. He just has to catch a slide. Waiting to put on the power, waiting to put on the power. There it is. Into No Name. Don't run wide on No Name. The curb on the left-hand side can loosen the car as well. You'll have to downshift through Puon. Don't let the car touch the wet bit or you will run out wide. Keeps it well safe within the white lines. Cleon knows he just needs to set a sensible time to be right up there. Into the Lafayette chicanes, off camber, it's clumsy, it's understeery, but he keeps it going. Don't invalidate on the right-hand side. Now, Stavelo 1, this will be really important. Keeps it sensible. Oh, nearly touches the gravel. It's a purple sector 2. 4.5, as Luke says. It'll be an easy pole for Cleon unless he invalidates. We are, of course, seeing other drivers come on intermediate tyres at the very, very end. I would imagine Rob, Chubby, Skarma, and Michelando are all on their outlaps. I'm presuming on the intermediate tyre. But we're just going to watch Cleon finish now. He's out of battery. He's used all of his battery. The numbers are white, meaning that he's used all of his deployment for this lap. So he has to just use the power of the car. Crosses the line, and it is a 54.4. Cleon, without managing his battery, has put it third, ahead of his teammate.
The tyres are a bit too used compared to the others who set out
We'll see. Let's have a look. Rob is on an outlap on the intermediate tyre. He will be the first. No, Skarma will be the first of those soft tyre runners to set a lap. So we'll go aboard with Skarma as he starts.
Niari's on a lap now.
Niarari is also on a lap. I'm going to keep on board with Skarma. No DRS, obviously, as it goes into La Source. Does he hit the apex? He hits a lot of the apex, but keeps it in a straight line. Just has to catch a little bit of a snap. Uses a bit of the wet track, maybe to cool the tyre down. I'm not sure. The dry line is forming. Goes up Eau Rouge. Try not to invalidate here. Oh, it's a big snap from Skarma, but he keeps it going in the right direction. Probably had a bit of a code brown moment there. Maybe lost a bit of time. Waiting. Pick your braking point now. Hard on the brakes.
Oh, Niari third.
Niari puts it P3 with a 54.3. There is time out there. Well spotted. I think Spikey's at the pits. Leon is not improving. I don't think he's pitted. He's on the old tyre. Skarma going around. Just clumsy it is. Going through Sector 2 now. Oh, it's a snap from Skarma. He's had an oversteer moment. Is it the tyres? Is it the track? He's going out. Through. He's gone wide. Oh, he's invalidated. Surely. No, he's not invalidated. He's kept it going. He will set a lap here. But the track just looks really slippery. He's really fighting the car, trying to get in there. It's not behaving at all. Oh, it's another snap. Oh, it touches the gravel. He still kept it going somehow. No, has he lost it? Oh, surely. Still somehow
Rob's
not...
hustling the car around now as well.
Skarma's somehow not invalidating. We're going to go on board with Rob. As he goes down the final sector, he looks like he is in a much better position than Skarma. He's got his teammate of Michelanda behind him, using even a tiny bit of tow, maybe to set themselves up there. Will Rob dethrone the Williams of Spiky 522 for pole position as he goes around the bus stop chicane, clips one corner, clips another corner. Rob now use the battery. It's not enough. It's too wet. It's a 57.0 for Rob and then a 56.6 for his teammate Michelando. Skarma set a 59.9. Chubby is the final one to set his... Oh, no, I think he's starting. Spiky has retired. Spiky says that's it. No more.
Chiv's on a lap now, though.
Chiv is starting a lap. Well spotted.
It's the last one, I think. I think Chubby invalidated. She's probably going on another push.
So Chubby is... I don't think... I think Arwen might be on a lap as well.
I think all the drivers that just set their times can technically do another one. The ERS was managing to stay high enough to have a push.
Arwen is also on a lap. So I'm going to have a look at Chubby Slug and see where he is. Chubby Slug is pushing. Chubby Slug now does a 34.4 in Sector 1. Is that good enough? Only the drivers know. Into Brussels... Chubby Slug can pull a lap out. He's done it before. The checkered flag is being waved. This is it. The drivers on laps take their laps. Leon has taken the flank. He will start fourth at best. Spiky has retired on provisional pole with a 54.1. It might be it. Oh, Chubby Slug goes wide. He turns in way too early for Puon. He doesn't invalidate, but he's certainly lost a bucket load of time. That looks like Dale, I think that is, on the back straight now. Dale is potentially on a lap. I'm not sure. He's used all of his battery. He set a 55.6. Can he improve on it, or is he going to box? Dale is boxing. And that'll be Skarma looking to set a lap. He's used all of his battery. Can he improve on his 59.9 after a string of oversteer moments? Hits the bus stop chicane, hits the right-hand curb, hits the left-hand curb, and you've just got to put the throttle down. Arwen
looks to be challenging you.
Skarma takes the flag with a 56.7. Niarari does not improve. Dale pits with a 55.5. What is that? Michelando takes the flag as well. Chubby Slug takes the flag, 57.1. Chiv now. Can he improve to P7? But can Arwen take it at the death? Oh. Arwen invalidates! He's invalidated at the very end!
It wasn't enough anyway.
It wasn't enough. Niarari will be the last one to take the flag, unless he can pull a monstrous lap out. We have an enormous upset here. Spiky, the returning driver in the Williams on pole position. Niarari takes P3 at the line, and my goodness me, do we have a messed up grid for this session. Spiky pulling the George Russell. Yes, good luck. Spiky 522 is on pole position in the Williams. Arwen follows in the Aston Martin. Niarari in the other Williams, another returning driver on P3. The both Red Bulls of Cleon and Dale, followed by Rob, Chiv, Michelando, Skarma, and Chubby Slug will finish 10th, ahead of the Mercedes, Bosch in the Alpine, Pace in the Ferrari, and Baz in the Haas. What a scintillating session that is. My goodness me. I have the biggest smile on my face. right now. What a session. What a race we've got. My goodness me. All of your drivers who could potentially be fighting for, what you'd expect, I suppose, to be fighting for podium positions are wildly out of position. And we've got some... this is going to be a brilliant, brilliant race, especially if it rains during the race. However, it looks like it's going to be dry running. DRS, will it come into play? Do the lead William drivers have high downforce setups? Do they have low downforce setups? Who knows? I appear to be stuck looking at the pit wall here. But we're just having a look here at the race director. This is your starting grid, just to confirm that. So Spiky, 522 on pole position, and Arwen on the front row. Following then, on the second row, Niarari and Leon Evans, Dale and Rob, Chiv and Michelando, Skarma and Chubby Slug make up the fifth row. Luke and K-Pax, both Mercedes side by side. Bosch and Pace, and then Baz living at the very end there in the Haas. What a superb grid this is. We're already seeing a breadth of tyres being chosen. Looks like the Williams at the front might be sticking with the softs. Maybe they haven't decided on their strategy yet. Arwen choosing the hard, Rob choosing the hard, and then a couple drivers choosing the mediums there. What is that? Michelando, Chubby Slug, and K-Pax. Although I'm sure people are still going to be having a mess around. Skarma looking at the medium tyre. Bosch, Pace, and Baz at the bottom there on the softs. Luke very well maybe starting on the softs. Rob, Chiv, Michelando, Skarma, Chubby all on the medium tyres. Now they're going to try and go. Is it a one-stop here? Is it a two-stop? It's a two-stop in real life. I would assume it's a medium-hard one-stop here, but I haven't raced this in this game yet, so I don't know. I could be talking out of my ass. Both Mercs sitting on the soft tyre there might try and sight their way through the field. Spiky choosing the medium tyre as we go for the formation lap. I'm going to take a brief moment of respite to drink, because that was something else. It's a long formation lap here. You want to take your time, get some heat into those tyres, try not to scrub them too much, get your idea right, make sure you got your line right. You know, warming up tyres can be a little bit deceptively difficult in this game. You know, brake dragging, excuse me, is not a factor anymore. Let's see the drivers doing the full warming up the tyres. Niarari doing his best Kimi Raikkonen impression there, just keeping it straight. And if we have a look here, we can confirm. So that's the interval. There's our tyres. So Spiky on the medium, Arwen on the hards. Arwen looking to go very, very long. We've got two soft tyre runners in Niarari and Cleon. Cleon is almost certainly going to try and fight his way up to pole, get some clean air. And then from 5th down to 10th, we have all medium tyre runners from Dale, Rob, Chiv, Michelando, Skarma, and Chubby Slug. Both Mercs on the soft tyre, maybe trying to fight their way through the field as well. Hopefully not get stuck in a DRS train. It's really easy to get stuck in one here. Bosch and Pace on the medium tyre, and then Baz on the soft at the very end. Excuse me while I cough there. So maybe a one-stop, maybe a two-stop. I think the people running in the softs might be two-stopping. You could probably do a soft-hard here, especially if it's not too hot. Obviously, I'm not sure what the track temperature is. I don't know what the weather is. We had a dry-to-wet quali. Could we see a dry-to-wet race? It looks a bit muggy, looks a bit cloudy. I don't know if it looks all that rainy, but we will obviously find out in due time. Maybe the medium tyre runners know something we don't. Maybe they will run to the rain. Maybe they will run to the safety car. We will have to see. Only the drivers in their cockpits know what their plan is. As we watch our lead car, Spiky here, get ready for the start of the race. First time on pole position for Spiky. Can he lead it very well? I'm going to hide the UI as we watch. Everybody gets into their grid positions. Everybody gets ready. You see Chubby's like pointing aggressively there. Arwen pointing to go to the outside line. Spiky angled very slightly to cover him off. This is the Spa-Francorchamps Grand Prix. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And we are go in Spa. Spiky gets a good start. Arwen gets a terrible start as Cleon passes his brother there. Neorari goes to cover off the Red Bull as Spiky leads into T1. Cleon and Arwen are side by side, and it's as you were. Everybody, Chubby Star going a bit wide there, losing a few positions, but no immediate drivers going off the track. We are 2 Williams going 1 and 2 up the hill. Neorari immediately looking to put pressure on his teammate. Neorari, is he going to go for a move on his teammate right now? Neorari moves into the lead of the race. Neorari leads on the soft tyre from Spiky. Cleon, who's overtaken Arwen at the line. And then there's a K-Pax. K-Pax has gone out at the very end there. What's happened to the Mercedes driver there? He's all on his own at the very end. Has he been tagged? Has he spun? We will have to see as we go back up to the lead of the race, where we have Neorari leading from Spiky. Cleon putting pressure on the German driver as Neorari looks to try and build a gap on the soft tyres before they fall away. Cleon very aggressive here. He's already pulling a bit of a gap on his brother in the Aston Martin. Rob is hustling him right now, who's overtaken the Red Bull of Dale. Both McLarens together. Michelando and Luke, who's inherited 10th place from Chubby Slug, who went wide at T1. But it's all been very sensible. Spiky, look at this. Spiky is pushing now. Does he have? Is he using battery? No, but he tucks into the slipstream. Is he going to make an overtake on his teammate? He thinks about it. He's being very careful through Blanchemont. Is he going to send it up the bus stop chicane? Or is he going to be it safe? Neorari goes defensive. Spiky now goes to the inside. Cleon maybe having a look. No, Cleon keeps it very, very, very sensible. And Neorari keeps it. Arwen is spun. It's a yellow flag. I think Arwen has spun. Has he had contact? He's ghosted. Arwen falls to the back as K-Pax passes Baz living here. And Chubby Slug looks like he's gotten past Luke as well. They are going side by side. I am scarcely keeping up. Luke does get out ahead of Chubby Slug as he follows Michelando up the hill. That's a side by side. Is that one of the Red Bulls of Dale going side by side with one of the McLarens up the hill? Dale now, he does keep out ahead of both the McLarens. That's Skarma now. Is Skarma going to have a look? No, he keeps it behind in Lecom as we go up. That's still Neorari is still leading the race from Spiky, who is really putting pressure. No, Cleon has gotten ahead. Mike, excuse me. I've completely misread. At some point, Cleon has gotten past, and I have missed that. I'm certain it was on the straight. My apologies. Been trying to keep up with everything else, but Cleon has fought his way to the front of the grid, and now it's up to the Williams to work together. They're on alternative strategies, and they are going to try and fight as hard as they can for a podium position as Rob is starting to close in. Arwen gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. As we have a look, Chubby Slug is right up on the rear of Lucullus there. Lucullus pulls away a little bit. He'll be sticking in the slipstream of Michelando. DRS will be enabled this lap. So the train certainly begins. We're going to have a train from Dale, I think it'll be, leading all the way down to Arwen from 5th down to 13th. As we have a look at the top now, Spiky is just trying to stay within the DRS of Cleon, who is the... Oh, there's a McLaren! A McLaren is spun! Who was it? It was Skarma. Skarma has spun off the track. He's there. He's got wing damage. There's been contact, and it's a virtual safety car. Virtual safety car, and we have drivers pitting. K-Pax pits, Skarma pits, Luke pits as well. Let's have a look. Pace pits as well. Maybe drivers switching to a 2-stop strategy. The Mercedes double boxing, very brave. But a virtual safety car due to contact there. Maybe a driver who had an incident with Skarma. Can we have a look there? Potentially at the incident list there. No, nothing there. Maybe a bit of argy-bargy. We'll have to see. But Cleon leads out on the soft tyre from Spiky, Neorari, Rob Wills up to 4th, Chiv in 5th as well. See if I can get the position change. There we go. Michelando up in 6th, Dale in 7th, Chubby Slug in 8th, Bosch in 9th, Arwen in 10th after a lap 1 incident, Baz up in 11th, and then Luke, Skarma, Pace and K-Pax, who have all pitted under the virtual safety car. You can see the gap there in the bottom right that they're going to have to make up. But as long as this virtual... Oh, and Arwen gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. Arwen, who had a really good chance at a podium position here, and not only has a time penalty for cutting corners, but has a drive-through penalty. That's horrible for Arwen. It's going to take a lot for him to fight his way back in the field. We are now green flag running. Cleon pulls the gap to Spiky from Nirari. Those two Williams. Rob has managed to close the gap under the VSC a little bit. Just putting pressure. Nirari goes wide. Nirari on the gravel, and Rob inherits the podium position. Maybe the soft tires just slowly starting to fade for Nirari after only a few laps. We will have to wait and see if he can pull anything back from that. Chiv is putting pressure on Nirari now as well. Can he have a go up the Camel Straight? We'll have a look. So DRS open. Chubby Slug makes a move. Dale pits. Dale is in the pits. So Chubby Slug moves up to 7th. Bosch up to 8th. Very good start from Bosch there. From towards the back of the grid. Now, Nirari will get DRS from Rob. But is it going to be enough to defend from Chiv, who has Mika Lando half a second behind him as well? We will have to see. Arwen pits now. Eskarma also pits. Again, Darwin looking to serve his drive-through penalty. Almost certainly. Pace will move himself up. All line astern down the Camel Straight, as it is all changing at the back of the grid there. Yes, Skarma, the Nirari goes wide. Oh, can Chiv make a move there? They go side by side. Nirari, does he give enough room? He does give enough room. They are now going to go side by side down to Bruxelles. Nirari has the inside line. Oh, there's contact. Very friendly. Chiv just has the grip to make the move stick. And Chiv passes Nirari for P4. Now he has to make the time up to Rob to try and get back up to those podium positions. Mika Lando is now really putting pressure on Nirari. Those soft tires are just not working for the Turkish driver. Mika Lando down the inside, lets it go, but he runs a bit wide. Can Mika Lando make it stick around the outside and not invalidate it? Oh, he touches the gravel. And we'll certainly get a warning for that. But Mika Lando makes the move stick. And Nirari is sinking like a stone on those soft tires. He could tuck in behind. Oh, might use a little bit of battery. It might not be entirely over if Mika Lando can just stay in the DRS of Chiv. We will have to wait and see. Pace is putting a bit of pressure on Arwood. We'll have a look on board there in a second. Nirari has a little look up the bus stop. Keeps it safe. Keeps it sensible. Cleon Evans sets the fastest lap with a 1... Oh, no. Rob gets a fastest lap instead of 1:47. We're starting to see the medium tyres now working just a little bit better than the soft tyre. Spiky's actually gaining on Cleon slightly now on the medium tyre. Will he have DRS? Only time will tell. We're going to go back and down all the way to the bottom of the grid. Let's have a look at Pace now as he's tucks in behind Arwen Evans. Is he going to get a good enough exit out of La Source to make a move down onto the Camel Straight? Arwen has no DRS. He will have to use his battery to defend. Pace, who's on the hard tyre, potentially taking it to the end as Nirari and Mika Lando look like he went side by side through the com there. Pace now. Is he going to set up for a move? Oh, he has a bit of snap, but he uses his battery. DRS open. ERS on. In the slipstream of Arwen Evans, and Pace in the Ferrari breezes past the Aston Martin to take 11th place and will now hunt down the Mercedes in 10th. I'm going to go on board now with Rob, who is just sitting on the gearbox of Spiky, but Spiky is gaining time on Cleon. The soft tires are starting to fall away. We've seen it now as Nirari and Mika Lando look like they're continuing their battle. Look at that as Nirari just defends. Chubby Slug is right on the gearbox of Mika Lando. Will Mika Lando do anything? Oh, he's at the gravel. Mika Lando touches the gravel. Nirari gets just a snap of oversteer, and Chubby Slug is sitting behind this, just waiting for his moment. But Mika Lando dumps his battery, goes side by side down the back straight. Will he come out ahead of Blanchimont? Oh, he's rushed a bit wide. Nirari is still there. Chubby Slug with the overspeed. Are we looking at a double overtake? No, he keeps it sensible. Nirari goes really deep there. Oh, and this just comes together, but he just comes out ahead. Cleon on the soft tire pits. He's out. Spiky re-inherits the race lead. But will Rob take it from him? But we're looking here. Look at Nirari on the inside of Mika Lando. It's a big snap of oversteer from Nirari, who's ghosted. But Chubby Slug with the overspeed. They're going to go 3 wide up Eau Rouge here. Chubby Slug, is he going to go up? Oh, he's very, very close. He comes out just ahead of Nirari. Nirari goes wide. Maybe some contact with Chubby Slug. But now look at the overspeed, and he does make the double overtake stick, and Chubby Slug will come out ahead. Oh, look at Niarari! Look at the battery usage from the driver on the soft tire. He's gone so deep in Lake Home, but he just manages to come out ahead. But he's barely keeping those tires alive. Chubby dips it in the gravel. He might have a look up the inside of Bruxelles. Niarari gives him room. He's got the grip. But can he keep it through No Name? He's going so it's fantastic racing as Niarari has a moment. I think, is he spun? No, he's kept it. He's fine. He did have a bit of a snap. Michelando goes wide and gets a 3-second time penalty for good measure as Niarari stays behind. In all of this battle, Rob has passed Spiky for the lead of the race as, Niarari, the soft tires are just not working for him anymore. As we have a look, Rob now comfortably leads from Spiky. I'm assuming he overtook on the straight, but I couldn't see it because of the absolute mania going on in the middle of the field. Cleon up against his championship rival, Lucalis now. On the back straight, on the fresher tyre. Luke did pit under virtual safety car, could very well be taking his tyres to the end. They are both on the hard tyre, that's right, but Cleon's on fresher tyre. You would think he might have enough to make the move happen under the DRS on the Camel Straight. If I can get the interval back up, that would be helpful. There we go. Luke is too far away to get DRS from Baz, so he will have to use his battery to defend. Michelando is stuck behind Chubby Slug. Niarari has just fallen away from that battle a bit and is under pressure from Bosch, who is chasing him up the hill. Will Bosch make the move on Niarari? Oh, it's a snap from Bosch. Niarari's tires are dying. Bosch doesn't have a lot of battery left. He's gonna use it as Cleon is putting pressure on Lucalis as well as they both gain on the Haas. Bosch goes to the outside line. Very brave from the Alpine. But Niarari defends very well. Cleon has made a move past Lucalis as Niarari goes out. It's a yellow flag. He's facing the wrong way and the soft tires have just fallen away for Niarari. He qualified brilliantly well, but he's overstretched the soft tires and has felt the effects. Chiv has a 3-second time penalty up in P3. Michelando now pushing very aggressively on Chubby Slug. Is he going to make a move down the back straight? As we said, Cleon got past both Lucalis and Baz. We're expecting Lucalis to pass by Baz on the fresher tires as well. They are going side by side now into the Lafania chicane. If we have a look now, Lucalis is just being patient, waiting for his moment. Oh, Baz goes a little bit wide. Stavro, look how much time Luke is losing to Cleon, though. Cleon is just pulling a massive gap from his championship rival. Luke will burn his batteries. He goes side by side with the Haas driver now as Chubby Slug is the next to pick up a 3-second time penalty. Luke doesn't have the speed to make the move stick. He nearly invalidates but keeps it fine. Baz is staying ahead. Will Luke send it to the bus stop chicane? He does. He puts us up the inside. Oh, he does take a lot of the chicane there. A little nibble of the wheels for good measure. Baz gets a bit of snap on exit. Luke gets better drive, and Luke will make that move stick past the Haas driver. He had to fight for it, and Cleon has managed to gain a lovely 2.5-second gap. Bosch is now getting on Michelando. We're just going to go on board with Michelando now, who is still fighting Chubby Slug. Can he make the move now? He has a 3-second time penalty. Chubby Slug has a 3-second time penalty. Michelando goes to the right-hand side and makes the move comfortably before the chicane. And Michelando makes his way up to 4th. Rob now leading by 1.4 seconds from Spiky, who was our pole sitter on the medium tyre. Chiv has made his way up into P3 as well. He's 1.2 seconds behind the Williams driver, but has a 3-second time penalty. Michelando and Chubby Slug are then fighting for 4th position, but they are 7 seconds away from the lead pack. Excuse me. As Cleon is going to fight his way up towards the Alpine now. Pace is going to... K-Pax is just on the gearbox of Niarari. It looks like he's made that move stick as well. That was coming out of the chicane. That's a mighty move from K-Pax. I think Niarari might have had another moment. Arwen is fighting the Mercedes driver now. Will he go for a move in a peculiar place? Will he wait for the back straight? Will K-Pax be able to pull the gap? And everything and the rest of the grid just settles down a little bit. But it has been a frantic first third of the race. Chubby Slug is just falling away from Michelando's DRS as he is gaining. Chiv is just in the DRS zone of Spiky. I think Spiky had a bit of a moment there on the last corner, but we're staying on board here with Arwen, who is lucky he's not using his battery. He's biding his time behind K-Pax, but very well may have a go in the bus stop here, actually, or we may wait for the DRS straight. K-Pax defends the inside. Arwen is very, very patient. Tries to get the better line as K-Pax has to go defensive. Now Arwen is full on throttle, uses DRS. He might make the move happen before the first corner. Now, K-Pax burns a bit of battery, but he has to go defensive. Arwen will get a much better run up the hill here as we look ahead. Cleon is putting pressure on the Alpine of Bosch. We're going to go on board with Cleon here as he makes the move past the Alpine driver before the DRS line even comes into play. I'm going to go back and board now. Pace is going side by side with the Haas. He will make the move, and Arwen passes K-Pax in the background. So plenty of moves happening here on the Kemmel Straight, the main overtaking zone. Bosch will tuck in behind Cleon for the lap. Baz will tuck in behind Pace. K-Pax by Arwen, and they will all have a go themselves. Chiv is really close to Spiky, who's starting to lose his medium tires a little bit. He will surely be boxing very soon for the hard tire. Rob has pulled a healthy 2-second gap and puts himself in a very good position for the potential win of this race. We're looking at the tires. Where are we? Yes, they're all on the 8-lap old tires. Cleon is the lead driver on the alternative strategy, following Luke and Pace, who are looking very, very good as Chiv makes the move down the back straight to beat Spiky. But Spiky may have another go. Spiky's going to have another go. Look at this. Spiky's gone right at it. Is he going to try and make a move on the outside? No, he breaks a bit early. Lets Chiv go defensive. Is he going to try for a switchback? Is he going to try for the Camel Straight? We'll have to see. DRS open as Rob pits. The lead car pits, presumably for the hard tyre. So Chiv inherits the lead of this race. It's the fourth different race leader we've had. But it may swing back to Spiky now, who uses his battery coming out of La Source. Chiv doesn't have any battery left, or he's regenerating it. As we go up through Eau Rouge, as we go up through Radio, look at the overspeed that Spiky has here. He opens the DRS, and the pole sitter re-inherits the lead of the race from Chiv. Fucking hell. Excuse me. Baz, Arwen, and Nirari all pit. Arwen goes onto the soft tyre for the last 12 laps. Very interesting. Rob has come out ahead of Bosch in the pits. Now, he will be under pressure from Luke, but he comes out behind Cleon. Very interesting. So, Cleon's on 4-lap older tyres than Rob. Can he hold it off? Does he have the pace to hold it off? We're going to go on board here with Michelando, who's just tucked in behind Chubby Slug. These two have been going absolute hammer and tong. They both wash a little bit wide and poo on, but he stays in it, and finding it difficult to follow through as we look at the gaps. Chiv is still behind Spiky. One of them must be pitting this lap, but Spiky still does not have a 3-second time penalty, which is a key factor. Chiv looks like he's going side by side, and Chiv makes the move, stuck on the back straight to get the preferential pit, I would imagine. Spiky's going to push forward. Is he going to go? Is he going to go for the move at the bus stop? Is he going to go for it? Is he going to stick behind? I think he's sticking behind. Very sensible. Does one of them pits? Do one of them pit? I can tell you, they both have pit. Yes, Chiv had to make the move go. Nirari gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. He's on the hard tire. He will now make his way up the rest of the grid as we have Chubby Slug, who pits as well. Michelando pits. Those two have been in a titanic battle. And Cleon inherits the lead of this race. He is on the hard tire, older hard tires than Rob, who is he gaining on him? We'll have to wait and see. 2.7 seconds is consistent, but Luke is giving pressure on. It's a brave strategy from Luke to box so early under the virtual safety car. Those tires are going to start really feeling it at the end. Chiv comes out behind Luke, and Spiky comes out behind Pace, but Pace overtakes Chiv coming out of the pits. So Chiv overtakes on the Camel Straight. Pace overtakes Chiv on the Camel Straight. So this puts Spiky back in it. He came out a little bit behind Chiv. Maybe some issues in the pits. But if Pace holds up Chiv, that puts Spiky right back in it. He could still be on for a podium. Now, Chiv and Spiky on the fresh hard tyres. They've got Cleon and Rob ahead of them, who are on a little bit older tyres. And then you've got Lucalis and Pace on 8-lap-old hard tyres, as Chiv just starts looking like he's pulling away from Spiky a little bit. The hard tyre looks like a strong tyre here. He will follow Pace all the way through. Chiv has made a few overtakes on the back straight here. Can he do it again? We will have to wait and see. Michelando and Chubby Slug will continue their titanic battle as they go in behind K-Pax. As Spiky settles in, tries to catch up to them. Just keep it sensible, get the laps in, and the penalties may change your final position. Arwen and Baz are the only drivers not on the hard tyre. Arwen on the soft tyre, he may be doing a two-stop, he may be taking it to the end. Baz on the mediums, just taking it to the end as well. As long as a driver doesn't DNF, they will get points today. There's 15 drivers, so you are guaranteed points as long as you finish. Michelando looks like he might be having another go at Chubby Slug in a minute. We'll have to wait and see. I just want to stay on board here to see if Chiv makes the move on Pace, who is on the older tyre, as I try and find Michelando. The gap is 2/10 behind Michelando and Chubby Slug. The gap is 4/10 behind Chiv. These two are the two battles to watch. Chiv lifts slightly going up a rouge, puts the battery on. Can Pace defend? Pace doesn't look like he's using his battery. He tacks over to the right-hand side. Chiv will make the move. We're going to go on board with Michelando. Can he make the move on Chubby Slug? These two have traded blows for the first half of this race. Can he do it again? Michelando in the DRS goes to the right-hand side and makes the move stick. Dale gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, and we are going to see a particularly jumbled up grid at the end once all penalties are taken into account. But as it stands, Pace and Spiky just need to stay behind Chiv. If Pace can stay in Chiv's DRS and Spiky can get in Pace's DRS, they will both benefit from Chiv's time penalty. As Pace gets one himself, the curse of the commentator strikes again. Chubby Slug now is just tucking in behind Michelando. He will almost certainly make the move again as long as one of them doesn't make a mistake. Pace is just falling away from Chiv, but Spiky has gotten into the DRS, the 3-second window. The 3-second window, the 1-second window for DRS, excuse me. It is difficult to keep on track of everything. I know I've already missed a few different things. As we look now, Chubby Slug is just going to sit in the slipstream, but we should go on board with our current race leader. Leon Evans is the race leader at just over the halfway point of the race on the older tyres. Rob follows him by 2 seconds. He's gained a bit of time on Leon with the fresher tyres, but is he going to gain enough by the end of the race? We will have to see. Lucalis, who pit early under the virtual safety car after a shock Q2 exit, is currently in the 3rd podium position, 2.9 seconds behind Rob. Chiv goes into 4th. Pace, and our pole sitter Spiky is sitting in the DRS of Pace in 6th. Pace also pit under the safety car. And then you've got K-Pax, who also pit under the safety car, who's managed to go up in 7th after a shock Q2 exit. Michelando and Chubby Slug have their own titanic battle, which is going on. They are currently in 8th and 9th, and will hopefully start to eat up the drivers who pit earlier. Bosch in the Alpine has gone up to 10th. Arwen on the soft tyre is in 11th, as Chubby Slug passes Michelando at the end of the Lecombe Straight. Baz Living is in 12th on the only medium tyre runner. Nia Rari, who started 3rd, who overstretched the soft tyre and had a good spin for measure, is sitting in 13th. Skarma sits in 14th and Dale in 15th. Skarma and Dale were both involved in incidents as well, which I'm sure we will see later on. Arwen gets another 3-second time penalty for good measure. We'll go on board with Spiky and see if he can gain anything on Pace. Pace has just gotten back into the DRS window of Chiv, and then he loses it again. But Chiv is gaining on Lucalis. Are the hard tyres failing? Look how close Spiky is closed in on those Pace. I think those hard tyres are starting to fail. Now, Leon is managing the gap to Rob by the tune of about 2 seconds, but there's a 4-lap difference in them. Rob could very well have a go at him at the very end. Pace is just burning his tyres a little bit, just wants to stay. Look at that gain. That was about 6/10 on the back straight there. Skarma picks up a 3-second time penalty for good measure. Spiky rounds the corner, gets DRS. Pace gets DRS on Chiv, and you've got a train forming now. Did Chiv get DRS on Lucalis? I'm not sure, but he very well may get it going up the Camel Straight here. It's going to be very close if he gets it. Pace has just dropped away from Chiv as well, so this could very well pull Chiv away from Pace, and Spiky will have to see. Luke now leads. We're going to go on the onboard with Chiv. He does get DRS. Is he going to have enough gainer? You can see Lucas recharging his battery. Chiv barely has any himself as Spiky makes the move on Pace behind. He will go fourth on the end of the Camel Straight, and Spiky now needs to get on the back of this battle, or at the very least stay within Chiv's penalty window and not get one himself, and he will be in for a very tidy finish. Chiv, though, is really pressuring Lucas as Rob Wills is looking to take more time out of Cleon. It's dropped by about 3/10 now. Lower down the grid, Arwen has passed Bosch on the soft tyre. Bosch very well may come back at him as those softs fail away, or if he pits again, but Luke is fighting the car through Sector 2. The hard tyres are not cooperating. Chiv could very well make this move happen before the DRS straight. As Spiky looks like he's just trying to hang on. Pace is just falling away. It's going to be a very interesting battle between these four for the last podium position, especially if more penalties come into play. Chiv now sits in the in the slipstream. He's not using any of his battery. Luke is almost certainly recharging battery as well. Will Luke come out ahead at the end of the Camel Straight? We will have to see. Michelando is still pressuring Chubby Slug on the back straight there. We may see a move there happen, but I want to stay on the broadcast view here with Chiv as he goes. Will take the DRS, kindly sits behind him. Look how close the four of them are. We are going to see a monstrous run up the hill. A Spiky could very well have a go at both of them when he gets the overspeed. I'm going to go on the onboard with Spiky. We're either going to see the overtake happen, or we're going to see something happen from the pole sitter as we go. Luke Burns going up Eau Rouge. Chiv sits in behind him. They all go through very cleanly. They all take the speed up the hill. DRS open for Chiv. DRS open for Spiky. Battery on. Chiv makes the move on Lucas, and Spiky will also make the move, and Lucas gets knocked from the podium position down to 5th as his tyres fail to help him. Now Spiky just has to sit behind Chiv and not get a penalty, and the pole sitter will get his first podium of the season, and I think very well might be his first ever podium in P0. I would have to fact check that. Pace just fell behind. He didn't get the DRS going up the hill, and K-Pax will start to move towards him. But look at this, Chubby Slug has gained on K-Pax at a rate of knots, and Michelando is directly behind them. Chubby Slug, is he going to go for a move in an audacious position? No, he sticks behind Puon as K-Pax is fighting the tires a little bit. Michelando has a penalty. Chubby Slug has a penalty. Chubby Slug goes side by side into the Lafayette chicane, goes around the outside, and K-Pax has a moment. There's contact between the former teammates. But K-Pax, look at this, Michelando up the inside of Stavolo. You never see a move there. Gives him room. And oh, it's a big snap. Oh, the curb has upset him. Oh, Michelando touched the curb on Stavolo too. He's lucky not to collect K-Pax there. K-Pax will re-inherit it, and Chubby Slug has left these two for dust. And you think the Titanic battle, it might not be over. The batteries burn from Michelando. He goes around on the outside, brakes so much later than those old tires from K-Pax, and makes the move stick in the bus stop chicane. That's very good from Michelando. He had to make that move work. He's lost the DRS from Chubby Slug, but may gain it back again. Spiky is still just on the back of Chiv. Rob is still gaining time on Cleon, but not by a lot. It's 2/10 in the last few laps. It's a gap of 1.4 seconds as Cleon's hard tires are going to start to fade away. Will he have what it takes to keep Rob at bay, or will we see a new race winner this season? K-Pax is going to have another go at Michelando. He uses the DRS, he uses his battery, and K-Pax reclaims the position. And you think the battle between Chubby Slug and Michelando may very well be over unless Michelando can make his way back up the field. Lucas is just lost the DRS. Baz gets a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting, and as it stands, Michelando and K-Pax and Spiky and Chiv look to be the closest battles on field at the moment. No safety cars so far. Couple of moments, couple of spins, couple of contacts, but everybody is still in the running, and that's the most important thing. Everybody will get points at the end of this. The race is just starting to calm down a little bit. Everybody's sort of regenerating their battery, cooling off their tires, getting back into a sensible position to go again. Rob and Cleon is going to be the battle to watch at the very end here. Cleon is managing it very well, it must be said, on older tires. But can he do it for another, what is it, 4, 5, 6, 7 laps? It's going to be a tall order. Spiky sits in the slipstream of Chiv. Mika Lando is giving a lot of pressure on K-Pax. Is he going to make the move happen on the bus stop chicane? He's getting very close. He's getting within 2/10. He's getting within 1/10. He goes side by side with the Mercedes driver and goes around the outside once again, just as he did the lap before. A very tidy move from Mika Lando. But will K-Pax repeat what he did before? Will he have the DRS going up the hill? He saved his battery. Mika Lando had a better run out of the chicane, and the old tyres are just fighting K-Pax there. And you think he might have just lost the DRS going up the hill, which would be a shame for him. Mika Lando was just recharging his battery. K-Pax burns a little bit, keeps it within the lines. He might get DRS here. He does not. He was not close to the detection zone. So he is using his battery to just get back in there. So this race isn't over between these two, but Mika Lando is just going to try and gain that time back on Chubby Slug. Scarba gets another penalty, 3 seconds. As we go on board here with, let's have a look at Spiky, as he is still sitting within. Arwin gets another 3-second penalty, but as it stands, the only driver in the top 5 who has a time penalty right now is Chiv, and I think it's 3 seconds. Yes, it's 3 seconds for Chiv, which may see him lose position to Spiky. Probably not Lucalis, whose tires are just falling away. And Rob Wills is now very close to getting DRS on Cleon, and we could see a change for position. Rob Wills, within a 10th, he's used his battery up. Cleon has saved some of his battery, but is on older tyres. Can Rob get the run out of La Source to have a go at Cleon up at the Camel Straight? And will we see a new race leader? Let's have a look. They go through the bus stop chicane. Niorari picks up another time penalty as well, for good measure. It's DRS for Rob. Tucks in behind. Now he needs to get a really good line through the source here. Cleon takes it sensibly. Rob cuts it very short. Gets on throttle. Uses the battery now. Gets on the power early. Gets up to the top speed quicker. Tries to use the momentum. It's an 8/10 gap going up the hill. And Eau Rouge, does he have what it takes? Here we go. Here we go. Full battery down, full throttle down, uses the DRS, tucks into the slipstream. Is he going to have enough to make the move up the hill? I don't think he is. Not this time around, but he sticks inside it. Rob very well may late for the last few laps, and we're just having a look here at Spiky. Is he going to have a look up the inside of Chiv? No, he doesn't. He stays behind, but that's all he needs to do, is not get a penalty and stay behind Chiv, and he will get a podium finish. Chiv really needs to put the power down and pull away from Spiky, or hopes that the pole sitter gets a penalty of his own. He just clips the inside of No Name there. Dale picks up a 3-second time penalty, and just having a look, that's a confirmation. Pace, Chubby Slug, and Mika Lando all have 3-second time penalties. K-Pax, who is sitting behind Mika Lando, does not have one. Arwen on the old soft tires has picked up some penalties, and Chiv up in the lead is the only one who has some. I'm going to go back up to Rob, who's getting closer and closer to Cleon. There are 4 laps left as we cross the line. And Rob is just using his battery, getting into the slipstream. Look how much closer he is this time. Will he think about a move into the bus stop chicane? Will he wait for the straight? Chiv looks like he might have broken DRS to Spiky, which will do a massive job for him securing that podium. We will have to wait and see as we get into the final laps. But this is the important one right now. This is the one fighting for the potential lead of this race. Rob sticks on the DRS, waits inside. There'll be no moves done here, but he'll wait. He'll turn in. He's right on the gearbox of the Red Bull driver, who has been leading this race for near on 10 laps, but his old hard tires may have finally come to fail him. Rob Wills follows up the hill, through Eau Rouge, through Radion, turns DRS onto the Camel Straight, uses his battery, and Rob Wills takes the race lead with just a few laps to go, and will come out ahead of Cleon Evans. Now it's up to Cleon to try and keep behind him, keep following him, maybe cool off the tires a bit and make another move. And Rob needs to see if he can pull away. Spiky looks like he might have lost DRS to Chiv. He needs to look to gain it back in this sector, or he could be at risk for losing his podium position. Lucas is following away even further. Pace is very slightly gaining on him. Chubby Slug and Mika Lando are even gaps away from each other after a titanic battle as K-Pax falls away. Arwin and Bosch are making up the fight for 10th and 11th as Spiky gets a 3-second time penalty. The pole sitter washes wide at Puon and knows now that his chance of sitting on the podium involves him passing Chiv for position. This changes the makeup of the podium significantly. This is now in the hands of Chiv. As we look at Leon Evans now, who sits in behind. He's been saving his battery. He tucks in behind Rob Wills. He very well may have another go up the hill on the older tyres. Was it calculated? Did he let Rob by on purpose? We will have to see as he goes deep in the bus stop. That's not helped him at all. Any time game he had there, he's lost. And Rob pulls, what is that, about 4 or 5 tenths there. But it's fine. He uses the DRS. Rob is just holding. He's just recharging his battery before he burns it up the hill. I'm almost certain, yes. Rob has plenty of battery in hand, and they are both going to dump everything they've gained in this lap to try and make their way up. Spiky just drops out of the DRS zone, and you think his chances at a podium might be gone, but the podium doesn't matter when we're on about the race win. Cleon tucks in behind. They're both using their battery. Cleon turns on the DRS. They're both burning. Will Cleon make a move around the outside of Lecom? Will Rob defend it? They move over. It's side by side. Rob gives him just enough space, and Cleon lets it go. Skarma picks up another time penalty towards the bottom of the grid, but Rob comes out ahead at the end of the straight, and they play the game again. They'll both recharge their battery. They'll both sort of, look after their tires, play the chicken with the DRS, and see where they can go. Looking up the grid, there's no one else looking like they are in any sort of fighting positions. People have fallen into their gaps now. Pace is very slowly gaining on Lucalis, despite the fact that they are on the same tyre, but I don't think it'll be enough. There's only 2 laps to go once we cross the line, and we will have to see. The big play at the moment is Chiv and Spiky both have 3-second time penalties. Both are separated by 1.2 seconds. If one of them gets a penalty, then it may decide how the podium finishes, but otherwise it will be as you were, as Luke is too far away to be in the penalty window. Cleon is very close to Rob Wills here. Look how close this is. Now, does he go deep into the bus stop this time? No, he plays it much more safer. As he goes in, takes the DRS very happily, will tuck in behind as you see Chiv following. Spiky just sort of answering a little bit more. I'm going to go on board with Rob here on the broadcast cam as we see they both get good runs out of La Source. Will Leon make the move this time? Will he have enough overspeed? Will he have enough battery? Arwen picks up another 3-second time penalty. That will shake up how the bottom of the grid goes, but Leon, look at him right now. He's right on the gearbox of Rob once again. He turns on the DRS. Rob is burning his battery. Leon is burning his battery. I think Rob has defended it again. Yes, no side-by-side action this time. Leon knows. Leon knows that the last lap will be the one that matters, but so does Rob. Very interesting. Spiky looks like he's just gotten back into the window for Chiv. I'm going to keep a keen eye on that. Pace isn't really gaining significantly enough on Luke for there to be a proper battle there. K-Pax is just trying to stick within the 3-second window of Michelando as well to inherit that position. But there's a 2.4 rising to 2.5 second gap as he's on the older tyre. Can K-Pax stay in that window, or will he be stuck in 9th position? We will have to see. But this is the battle to look at right now. Cleon won the race in Hungary, has failed to defend his title last season, which Lucalis won over L. Cleon looking to take the fight back. Lucalis is down in 5th, yet a poor qualifying. He went for an interesting strategy. Cleon knows he needs his race win. Both Chris and L are both not in this race. This will be massive points in the championship, and he knows how much more points you get for a win. And the same happens again. He's 2 tenths behind Rob here as they both save down the back straight. But this is it. We are entering the final lap of the Belgian Grand Prix. Rob leads Leon now, and this is the one that matters. This corner will determine... Oh, he clips it! Leon clips his rear right tyre on La Source, and you think that might be all she wrote. We'll have to wait and see. But he's using all of his battery to go up the hill. Through a Rouge, through a Red Out, he downshifts to try and get the extra speed. He's dumping everything. DRS open. Rob is using his battery. Leon, does he have enough? I don't think he does. Leon will not be able to make the move stick here unless something outrageous happens, but Rob will take the lead through the Lecom chicane. as we go through on the way down to Brussels. Rob goes a little bit wide. Look how close he is. Look how close he is. Leon lies to look up the inside of Brussels, but Rob defends very, very, very well. They go through the understeer hairpin. They go through No Name. Leon is hassling the end of that Racing Bulls car. They go through Pord. Surely he's not thinking about a move here. They go through, they both play it very safe here and try not to get any penalties. Leon just can't get up in his gearbox for a run into Lafania. It's understeery, it's clumsy, it's slow, it's slippery, it's a horrible little chicane. And the dirty air you can see from Leon there is making a massive difference. Through Stavolo, Chubby Slug picks up another time penalty. That may affect things at the very end, but we're down here. It's the final straight. It's only Blanchimont and the bus stop to go. If there's ever a move to win the race, it'll be into the bus stop chicane. Rob has used all of his energy. Leon has used all of his energy. He's in the slipstream. This is the one that matters. Is he going to go for an outrageous move? He does not. He tucks it behind. There's a tiny bit of contact. Leon goes wide, but Rob Wills will take his first race of the season. Rob wins the Spa Grand Prix. Leon will take second place. Fighting back from fourth, Chiv takes a third position, his second podium decision, and keep your applause going for Spiky522, the Williams driver, with his first ever pole position, takes P4 on the road. Lucalis finishes in fifth. Pace in sixth. Both did well to recover using the virtual safety car. Chubby Slug takes seventh. K-Pax overtakes Michelando by 1/100th of a second at the line there, following the time penalty from Michelando. So that's 8th for K-Pax, 9th for Michelando. Bosch, the Alpine driver, will take 10th. Arwin at 11th. Nirari, who qualified in P3, had a spin, fought those soft tyres as hard as he could. He will take 12th on the road, which drops to 13th following time penalties. Baz inherits 12th in the Haas. More points for him. Skarma finishes 14th. He had a moment early on as well. And then Dale will round us out for 15th place. Wow. What a qualifying. What a race. What a Belgian Grand Prix. I didn't know if this race was going to hold up to the real life one, but my word, it did. It shows that a messed up grid with everybody out of position can make for a mightily entertaining race. Dale just picking up another time penalty for the ride home. He will come around to take 15th place. He will get a singular point for that, which will go towards his championship total in his fight in the Driver Championships. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. What a race. My goodness me. I am out of breath. We must have had about 4 or 5 different race winners, different drivers lead that race. That was outrageous. I mean, that was the game gave driver of the day to Pace, which I think was very good. He and Luke did very, very well to recover from that virtual safety car. But I think my driver of the day has to be Rob. It may be the obvious choice as he won the race, but it was not a trivial win at all from Rob. He qualified a little bit out of position, a little bit lower down the field, but he played it very, very well. He controlled the gap to Leon and made it stick, and that defense on the last lap was really good from Rob. He is my driver of the day for certain, and it's his first race win. Rob, a former champion here, multiple time race winner. More than happy to see him back up at the podium. Look at that. So that's your final grid, just to confirm. Rob Wills in the Visa Cash App RB. He is in first place. Cleon Chiv is the podium position. Spiky Luke Pace, Chubby Slug, K-Pax, Michelando, Bosch, Arwin, Baz, Niarari, Skarma, and Dale rounds us out at the very end. My goodness me. I don't know if we will have an opportunity to do any sort of interviews at the end. I will wait and see. But that was absolutely magnificent. See, I'm just having a quick... There we go. Well, I kind of wish I was involved in that now, if my hip wasn't playing up too much. But it will be your regularly scheduled programming for the commentary next weekend. I would imagine that Gear will be able to pick up the commentary again. I will confirm that, obviously. Where? I'm just having a quick look here. I'm just trying to see if there is the possibility of interviews. I'm just having a look here at the moment, but yes, what was I saying? Yes, the calendar. That's what I was looking at. Silly old me. Yes, the next race is Miami on August 4th. It's a sprint race. It'll be my home Grand Prix as well. That'll be very exciting. We shall wait and see. I am just waiting to hear back from whether there will be interviews. But in the meantime, yes, what a exciting race that was. I love seeing mixed up grids like that. That was the big thing for me. That race was fantastic to watch. I did everything I could to, try and keep up with everything that happened. But that qualifying was absolutely spectacular. Massive upsets in Q2. And yes, we will be getting at least some interviews. I'm just waiting. Some people dealing with the sort of myriad of issues trying to link in Discord. Rob, hello.
Hello.
First and foremost, a hearty congratulations. First win of the season.
Thank you very much.
And, very glad to see you back at the top. Former champion, former multiple-time race winner here. I thought you drove a really good race. I was keeping an eye on that gap the whole time between you and Cleon, and you just made the tyre difference work.
Yeah, it didn't close as fast as I thought it would. I think he pitted on lap 7 or 8, if I remember rightly. And I thought by the end he was really going to drop off, but he held it and held it and held it. And then I got to 1.3, then it went 1.5, and I just can't. I couldn't string enough laps together. Then he made a mistake in the middle of sector 2, and I finally got DRS, and then I went, right, I can get him, but then I passed him and he wouldn't go away and leave me alone.
That was definitely a pattern we saw. Was DRS was very powerful here. I have to ask, the qualifying was by far and away ridiculous. That was insane. People all out of position. So to get back to from where you did to winning the race, I ended up giving you my driver of the day as well, because I thought you drove.
Q3 told us that told us wets were the right tyre to go on, but the Delta said softs were quicker. So us 5 thinking we were really intelligent like that. Watch this. Yeah, didn't go well.
You got a lot of the Mercedes in Q2.
Yeah.
So it was probably karma.
But yeah, Cleon, yourself, drove a very, very good race. You passed the Williams very, very quickly, and I think it was just the tyre delta that got you in the end.
Yeah, I think it was, yeah. But I noticed that Luke pitted under the virtual safety car, so I had to pit a bit earlier than I really wanted to, because I just wanted to cover him really with the championship to gain some points on him. I was quite surprised, really, at how well the tyres lasted at the end there.
The hard tyres look indestructible. Watching the qualifying was very interesting as well, because you managed to... you were something like 4 seconds up, I think, in Q2, or in Sector 2 or something like that, and then it never materialised for you beating the Williams.
No, I dropped a lot of time, I think, I had a nightmare a bit in Q3. I invalidated my first run, and then... I thought maybe the track would ramp up for the last runs, but luckily it didn't, because I was worried I might be finishing quite low down there, but luck was on my side, thankfully.
Chiv, yourself, I gotta say, incredibly heartless to have Spikey not have his first podium of the season. But you drove a very clean and sensible race, and although you got the time penalty,
I didn't think I was on the podium because I misread the classification on the top left of my screen, and I assumed that Speechy was getting my podium anyway because I had a 3-second penalty, and I thought Theon had a 3-second penalty at the end of the race. Obviously, it turns out that was wrong. Speechy did, so I did feel a bit bad for him. But it was, I didn't clear the traffic as quick as Rob did, which is why I couldn't get into the lead fight. I think Speechy had really good pace as well. It was constantly good, to be fair to him.
He was absolutely fantastic. Watching it was very entertaining watching the Nirari overtake the other Williams driver at the top and just seeing everybody sit back and just sort of watch it happen.
Yeah, I had one lucky escape early on. I don't know if you caught it, coming out of Blanchimont, the Dale and Skarma crash.
I saw Skarma, the aftermath of it, but I didn't catch it on stream.
It's a very, very big accident, and it was a bit of luck on my behalf because I made a mistake that lap going up Eau Rouge, and I said to Skarma, "Yeah, your other teammate, you have a go on Dale. His speed's ridiculous in a straight line. Go on, you have a go and see what you can do. We'll do it as a team." And yeah, all hell broke loose.
Yes.
So that was lucky, but then, as you said, DRS is so overpowered on this track. It's ridiculous.
It certainly is. There was
once you're out of it, it's so difficult to do anything.
There was a titanic battle between Mika Landa and Chubby Slug, which lasted for the whole race, just trading positions. The DRS was very powerful. But gentlemen, thank you very much. Again, just to confirm, Rob is the driver of the day. That was, I think that race lived up to the real life one, lads. So well done on that. And we'll see if. And then we'll see if Miami proves to be any more entertaining. I can't say I'm optimistic, but thank you very much, lads. I will leave you to it as I wrap up. Gentlemen, everybody listening, thank you very, very much. I appreciate you all. That was a delightful race, a delightful qualifying. I am a sweaty man and my throat hurts, so I will see you all in Miami, where I will almost certainly be racing. And hopefully we have a race as exciting as that one. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you next weekend. Take care.